third generation. We're in our third generation, and we started in the scouting industry about 20 years ago. We do some other stuff like sell bulk product to Frito-Lay. We do some co-packing for companies like Target and Kroger. So we do a little bit more than just Boy Scout popcorn, but we are located in Ramsey, Indiana. It's in the southern part of Indiana, close to Louisville, Kentucky. So just a little bit about our company. So also going over some of the things for the accountants. I know this says days, but it's supposed to be dates. I think that was my typing there. So I'm sorry about that. Doesn't even say days really, but Saturday, the August 12th, which is today, we're doing this district popcorn unit orientation. Friday, August 25th, show and sell unit orders are due. And then Saturday, September 16th is distribution. So you got the Pilot Freight located at Victory View Way. And then on Wednesday, October 18th, that's the show and sell deadline for payment. And then Wednesday, October 25th, take order units are due. Saturday, November 15th, take order distribution. And again, at Pilot Freight on Victory View Way. Then Thursday, December 14th of December, unit money collection deadline. And then Friday, don't forget to get your prizes in. Hopefully everybody runs a little bit ahead of schedule, getting everything done, and has a great year with and if there's any questions, you can always contact your counsel for questions on that part of it. Just a little bit about why we're going through some of the things. Again, we know that scouting is about not just raising money for your unit, but also just a lot of different things that you can do throughout the year. One thing that we want to point out is, membership dues are going to be a little bit different next year. So just make sure when you set your budget, just understand when everything payment is for things coming up the next year, not just this year, but next year as well. So that way you have enough money in your coffers when popcorn sale starts again next year. Some other things on our technology, we do have like a show and sell thing, storefront. You can completely ignore that on your dashboard. Don't worry about it. Your council doesn't use it. We got some other features that you can use. Just visit our Campmaster site for a lot of information about just different things like your checklist and stuff that you can have for the popcorn sale, and also videos and such. That we'll cover a lot of stuff today, but refreshers for you guys. And I know again training is going to be going over here in just a few minutes, so I'm going to just move past some of these tips for success and stuff like that. So okay, so technology. So we added a few things this year. So the first thing you need to know is your unit needs to be registered. If your unit's not registered, you can get with your council and they can help set you up, make sure your unit's registered. From there, you can start putting in your scouts, or have your scouts find your unit and they can put in themselves. So that's number one, to do that. And then you can then start scouts can actually start selling then. So the first thing to do that, you go to the Campmaster website. Right here is a picture of it. It kind of looks like this is the bottom left corner of our campmasters.org website. It says .com down here, but it's .org up here. Excuse us for that. And you click on that. From there, you'll find a login page. If you don't know your password, or maybe you thought that you haven't actually set up one, or they sent you a link and never set up a password, just hit forgot password and you'll be able to set up your your information there by your email address that is in the Camp Master system. So, and if you have an issue with that, then you might need to contact the council to make sure that your unit is in the system. And the next thing you would do once you logged in, you're going to see this as a dashboard. This is what a scout dashboard looks like, as well as you'll have some information. The units kind of look like this as well, but this one's a scout dashboard. And you'll notice, hold on, there's some chats going on here. Okay, can everybody hear me? I just want to make sure you can hear me because it's all about the audio.
Yes.
Okay. So anyway, going back to this, there's some key components on this dashboard. So if you notice right here at the top, you see make a sale or take an order, right? So we're going to discuss that a little bit. And then you have here your scout key code. You can actually, as a scout, you can share this. All you have to do is click share Facebook or Twitter, or my favorite is email. I feel like email is really personal, but if you want to share on Facebook, my whole thing on that is use Messenger and message them. It's kind of like a personal ask when you message somebody by themselves. So versus just posting it on your Facebook site, because when you just post it, it's easy for people to ignore. But if you send it in a messenger or an email, people take note. So, and then, promote yourself online. This is a key thing that all scouts need to be aware of to set up. It actually helps with your selling as well, just because it has a little about it. You're able to put your picture on there. You're able to say what it's for and what you're selling popcorn for. And I think it's a really important part to do. And this is kind of what promote yourself online would look like. You'll see this young man put a picture of himself, and then he put on here, I know it's hard to read, but help me reach my $5,000 goal so I can go to camp and participate in all of the scouting adventures planned for this year. So again, gives it a personal touch when you share it, makes people more attached to you. So again, so we're going to talk about a little bit about accepting credit card, and this goes back to making a sale using the dashboard here, and these different buttons. So you got make a sale or take an order, right? I made it a little bit bigger so you can see it. So when you make a sale, it's for product you have on hand, like for show and sell. So you would click that button. If you don't have the product on hand, it's for product for future delivery. So it's a take order. So just to give you an idea of which one you click to place which order. From there, you will add products to the dashboard, and then once you added your products, you'll go to checkout. Once you get to checkout, you'll get this type of thing where you can enter the payment information. So you can hand enter the payment. That's option number 3. Like if you want to just put it in by hand, you can text the customer a link so they actually can just then pay it for themselves on their phone, or the customer can scan this QR code from your phone and pay from their phone there. So, or enter the credit card information themselves, either one of the 3 things. This is kind of a little bit about what that's going to look like on a computer dashboard. And from the unit perspective, once that sale happens, they're gonna get information that shows what happens. So you'll see down here at the bottom it says card sales. So if somebody had sold something by card, it would come up here. Actually, since we're doing show and sell, or if it was take order, it would be on one of the 2 spots, right? You can also enter cash orders through the same application. So again, so if somebody entered a cash orders, it would show up there. Any questions so far? I didn't see any chats. I figure you'll interrupt me if there is. That's pretty much it on the new part of the technology. As far as placing orders, we have, like I said, the videos. and stuff to help you understand how to place a show and sell order. And I think that's the easiest way. It's not just the video, but we also have a printout on our materials where you can actually follow there. Some of the things that we do have upcoming is a Michael Beck session, how to sell $10,000 a weekend. I'm sure we're going to hear a great way to do it here in just a few minutes. But I do encourage everybody to listen to that. It's another voice, another way to do it. And, very, very successful. Again, some of the other things that you can look at is, watch detailed training on the Camp Master technology. On the credit card thing, we got about a 20-minute video that kind of goes through it even a little bit more. And again, how to enter a show and sell order, kind of a detailed, 5-minute video on how to do that. Again, some more how to enter take order for later on. So one other thing I want to share with you is, you can join our social media support. Like for instance, today I've already answered 2 or 3 questions that somebody had today on the Facebook chat. So it's kind of a good thing to do because sometimes you're kind of stuck and can't, you're doing this on the weekend. So if I'm available or one of our other people that view our website, Camp Master Facebook page are available, you can get answers. You can also get answers from just in general other people that are in that site. So it may be a question to other units that you're asking and not just to Camp Masters. So I encourage you to join up to that so it can help you during the sale as well. So, but you can send us emails for sure. At our customer service at campmasters.org. So a little bit about the prizes, right? So Scout chooses prizes the way they want. So, the good thing about this is you can get a prize, just a patch, just by selling one item. That's awesome. That's a great thing. It motivates kids, and it's a great thing to do. I also love that the council is doing a $650 bonus club. It really helps people strive for that extra success. They'll let them choose their prizes, let them do everything. But, just again, you should get copies of these order forms and such from the council, but and that have all these prizes also with it. So just a little bit about the prizes there. Camp Masters also has high achievers. So if you really have some kids that hit that high selling goal of $3,000, this is an opportunity for them to really succeed. We get all the time kids that hit $2,990. If they just know about this sometimes, or maybe they sell 2,000, but if they knew about the 3,000 and they're already selling 2,000, they're already highly motivated. Let them know about this $3,000 club, because a lot of parents will strive to get this card and or this tent pack, this camping package, because it's a totally awesome camping package. And if they don't want that, they can get, or they already have the tent, they can get this card that's worth 4% of their sales, 3,000 or above. So if you hit say $4,000, then you're going to get $160 Visa card. So or you can choose the camping package, one or the other. So the camping package, as you can see, is a high achiever camp package, contains 2-person tent with a headlamp, binoculars, a 6-in-1 cooking multi-tool, a cooler chair backpack, metal campfire mug with BSA branding, and a sleeping bag. So yeah, the image is not to scale because I don't think any of us could fit in there, but it would still be fun to try, I think. But yes, we offer that as an additional high seller thing. So new this year for the council, the top selling scout. And I don't think I'm selling anybody's thunder, but I want to make sure I put it in our presentation. So I'm going to keep going with it. The top selling scout will win a pizza party for his or her unit, a first aid kit for their unit, a custom designed 2x3 vinyl banner with grommets for the unit. Now, there's some flyers that the council printed up, and they can share those with you. It's pretty awesome. I think it's an awesome deal that they're doing this. The second highest selling scout will win a first aid kit for their unit, a custom designed 2x3 vinyl banner with grommets for their unit, and the third highest selling scout will win a custom designed 2x3 vinyl banner with grommets for their unit. So, thanks to the council again. And then a special high seller prize. Thank you to Lynn for this. Scout executive had really came through helping us out, trying to really motivate everybody to want to achieve the highest level. Any scout or cub who sells a minimum of $3,000 worth of popcorn will get a special edition Sturgeon Council shoulder patch with a certificate. And then a sturgeon fishing trip with the council scout executive, Lynn Gunter, at a friendly fishing location with almost a guaranteed catch. Now, I do believe this is just the highest seller, not just if you sold 3,000. If I'm correct, it's the highest seller that gets the actual fishing trip.
That will be with any scout who gets 3,000 or more.
Wow.
Okay, there you go.
That's really neat.
Wow. That is awesome. Lots of prizes for hitting those big sales. So I know they can do it. I think if people are aware of it, I think they'll really strive to do it. So give everybody the opportunity to hear about those prizes. I think it's a pretty big deal. So products, we're going to talk a little bit about the products this year. So the Tasty Trio did change a little bit this year. We took out the s'mores and we put in a chocolate caramel with sea salt. It's really delicious. That Tasty Trio 10 has 3 different items. I'm not going to go through each one of these items with you. I think you can kind of see them from your order form. That's probably one that did change. I will say, from my perspective, you guys have a very good opportunity because the council did leave your caramel corn bag at $10, and that is a very aggressive pricing structure to help you guys sell more products. So again, thank you to the council for allowing that this year and trying to stimulate and get these kids able to sell a lot more.
If I sell 3,000, do I get to go fishing with you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's all these products online. We try to have a lot of different products online to sell. Yes, they're expensive. They include the price of shipping the product. The good news is this is the most expensive price they'll see per item that's listed here. If they actually add more than one item on there, the price per item drops. So it's kind of a you buy more, save more program, because basically what you're doing is adding another package into the same box, and the consumer's getting a benefit from that. So just give your people maybe that little piece of advice. Absolutely, I know it's an expensive product, but again, let them be the decision makers on how they want to support their kids. It's a great opportunity to send this to friends and family far away that you can't deliver the popcorn to, that want to actually spend that money to donate to your scout. So with that, I will leave it for questions and any questions. Besides, the audio is not very good. So.
The one question I had was, what is our ability to reconcile inventory if you're doing sales through the website and somebody chooses the wrong product, and now what you have versus what your orders are? What is our ability to reconcile that?
Yeah, it's a manual adjustment. That's basically it. The way I see it is no matter what you do, you always have to count your inventory, right? No matter what, whatever you have on hand is what it is versus what it says in the system, because you know what you bought, you know what you have left over, and so manual adjustments can be made within the unit leader. So that would be how you would do it. And there is, if you go to the when you go to it, there's abilities to adjust that before you place your order. It allows you a place in there to adjust what you actually have in inventory before you place an additional order for like take order or something like that.
Okay, but you can't you can't change an order, right? So I can't change the product in an order. So if I wanted to know how many of one item I sold, I would not have that ability.
Well, I'm, so if you, as a scout, is that what you're saying?
As a unit leader, if I'm
As a unit
reconciling.
lead, you can change what was sold, yes.
Okay,
You can't change that. You can't necessarily, if the scout places an order, that order is going to come through to you. You can't change what they place the order for, but you can update the system to show what you have in inventory left. But no, you cannot change the order on that side. Now, if there is an issue where you need some help like that, that's when you can contact our customer service and say, hey, is there a way to help with this spot? The unit can, the scout can cancel an order. The ability, he has the ability to cancel that order. So that would be at the scout level, and he could put it in under the correct way to do it as well. There is an ability to do that as a scout. So you could reach out to that parent and ask them to do that.
okay, thank you.
No worries.
I had a quick question just from your other the credit card presentation. So during that presentation, there was a question about if you're running multiple locations on the same weekend, and it was suggested that you could have multiple people signed up as unit leaders so that you could each have a QR specific to that location.
Yes.
But it was mentioned that you can change the permissions for each of those unit leaders so that like we're saying, you couldn't have, you wouldn't have everybody have the ability to go in and manually adjust all the things. And how do you adjust for a specific person?
So when you set up, it's the same way you set up with a scout. You know, the scout has certain permissions. As soon as you, like, when you go to set up that scout, it says set up other members in your, in your unit. You go there, you click on the button to set them up, and you'll have a list of all your unit leaders and your scouts. You just click on one of those, and it'll open up their profile. And at the bottom, it will give you a set of permissions where you can just check 2 or 3 of those, so they can do. You would not check the part where it gives them permission to place a order with the council per se. So you can do that as well. That is correct.
Okay.
It's right there on your dashboard where it says to add or look at your scouts and your users is what the word is, users. So and you just click that and it's right there.
Awesome, thanks.
Yeah.
Another clarifying question. On the 3,000, both for that prize and for the prize with Lynn, if we're giving scouts the portion of show and sell, that counts towards their $3,000.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, even online sales counts towards that. So if they sell online, show and sell, take order,
Okay.
all those count towards that 3,000 for Camp Masters. Yes.
No questions. Okay. All right, well then that portion with Camp Masters, we will be wrapping up. Thank you, Jason and Daniel, for joining us.
Sorry,
Thank you.
there was a mention of a event on the 19th about doing 10,000 in sales in one weekend. So is that just online, or how do we get the access for that?
That's online.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't know if we have you guys signed up yet, so we have to give you all access.
All right.
Nice. All right, we good? We'll go on then. All right, thank you, guys. We'll be in touch, I'm sure. All righty. So, our next portion, and let me just, point out too, so, Jan and Mike, you guys are our, popcorn kernels, or whitey, is that correct?
Okay.
Kind of, sort of?
Well, I had said yes way back when. I haven't heard anything, so.
Okay, gotcha. And then, Rick Pagacco has offered to retap the windows, popcorn kernel, so thank you guys. You guys have experience, so, utilize their knowledge, definitely. All right, next, Jeremy is going to, do his presentation. And, if I can bother you, Ben, there might be, a spreadsheet that has the top selling youth and units. If you can just put that up from last year, that's kind of interesting. So, Jeremy is with Pack 5, and that is in Meridian with, Holy Apostles. And, your unit and Cassie's and Mountain Home, I mean, neck and neck, you know, top sellers. And so when Jeremy got into this 2 years ago, learned a lot and just loves popcorn sales and offered to, you know, do this presentation on a unit level, some of the things he's learned. We turn this over to you.
Can you, thank you very much. Can you pull up the, this,
Yes.
Yeah, pull up that.
We'll go
Sales
back.
presentation?
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
So I've got a couple of things that we're gonna show here. But anyways, thank you, Donna. As she said, my name is Jeremy Westmark. Yes, that's the camera up there. I just want to make sure I know where everyone's located. And so I have put together this outline here that we're gonna show on the screen, and I believe Donna will email this and a couple other files to everybody who's participating via Zoom. If you like it, that is. And this is just my experience. This is what I've learned. 2 years ago, I sat in this room and I had zero experience. I had no idea what I was doing. I quite frankly was a bit frightened at the prospect of taking this on. And so, as Donna mentioned recently, I told her that I'd be more than happy to come here this morning and talk a little bit about practical. Now, what's worked for me may not work for you, and I know that there's people in here who have got a lot more experience at this than me. So your experiences might differ from mine, but this is what's worked for me. You've already asked a couple of questions that you know, how do you track certain things? And so I actually have a spreadsheet that I've developed that we're going to share after this meeting with everybody that if you want to use, you're more than welcome to use. So anyways, so I put this together. This is a practical advice, right? It's not perfect advice, it's just practical. So for us and our unit, it's Pack 5. We also have Troop 5. Last year, our troop it was our first year selling with the troop, but the pack has sold for the last 2 years. And for us, the three main methods of selling have been the storefront, online, and then in person. So the storefront by far, and I mean by far, has been the best way to sell the popcorn. I look at things from a vantage point of how much time did we spend on it and how much did we get in return for that time, right? So you can go around, and when I was a kid selling candy bars and other things, you know, knocking on the door and taking that's a lot of time and effort going around. I'm not discouraging that, and we tell our kids to go ahead and do that. But if you want to maximize in this video they're going to have next week, and I'm going to watch that too, how to make $10,000 in a weekend. That sounds great. So anyways, this is for those of you who are new at this, and I don't know in the room here who's brand new and who's online who's new, but this for me, if I were brand new, this is what I would do in this more or less this order. So if you don't know what you're doing, and if you're like, what do I do first? What do I need to get done? This is my advice to you from what I've learned. So number one, secure your storefronts, right? How do you do that? You go and you talk to the manager. Sometimes you get the assistant manager or whoever's on duty at that time. So what I failed to put this on here. What I recommend is type something up. Make a little flyer or something. Put your unit, the dates that you're going to be on there, popcorn sales. And I recommend this because one of our storefronts last year double booked us and another unit. And they didn't realize that we were two separate units. So I went in at one point and the other unit went in at another day, and the manager thought it was just the same unit. It was like, oh yeah, we're good to go. So my recommendation is not only print out something that you're going to leave, for us, Pack 5, these are the dates that we're asking, these are the hours that we want to be there. But, go back again and again and again, right? Go back 2 or 3 times to remind them that your Pac 5 or your Packer unit, whoever, and these are the dates. This is just my practical advice, right? Because these managers, they're very busy. They take your form, they put it on their desk, it gets buried somewhere, they forget about you. The other unit might come in and say, hey, we want this, and they're like, oh, sure, yeah, no, we've already talked about this, we're good to go. So again, just practical advice on making sure that the manager at the store knows it's you. Yes.
Vague memories of Girl Scouts. It seemed like they had an online system where they had already talked to store friends and then all of the units went in and signed up and took slots online. That is not the system here, right? It's first come, first served.
Council does
That's
not
right.
set it up. It's up to
Okay.
the units to set it up.
Yes.
All right, I was holding off arranging things because I
Yes.
thought maybe there was something like that. So,
Right, so so the question was, does the council help arrange the storefronts? No, you need to go and talk to people. We have another question over here.
Yeah, just because I am a little bit involved in the cookies with the Girl Scouts as well. The council goes through, has all of them signed up just so that there is no troop confusion. And then that's why they have like equal and fair. Each troop is allowed to sign up, like they take turns, kind of like picking out of the hat, like, oh, I got this one, so
So
that.
high traffic store.
So that
versus
it's
the low
not
traffic.
like monopolized for one troop just getting the best of the
Yes.
best, and like each troop has a chance to get equally fair booths set without, and then since the council does do that, just because I think there's so many troops,
Okay.
I don't know how many are here
Yeah,
actually.
well,
But so like every troop is on their own, and if they are double booked, like how do you just share?
well. We fought, I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
I've had two
I-
Yeah.
When we showed up, the other unit was there. And let's say I was a little perplexed, but right, we're scouts, so we're going to be kind of polite to each other, and that's what we were. And so that was a Saturday morning, and so that unit said we could have Sunday. So we just worked it out. It was fine. Yeah, I guess it depends on the personality that you're dealing
Can
with.
I know, like, how, because I'm sure someone here knows how many troops are in the Treasure Valley?
How many? I'm just saying, in our outline area, we don't have to worry about that. There is only, when there are no Girl Scouts out in our area, by the way.
Well, should send some Girl Scouts out your way.
We have a total of 98 troops and packs, but not all of them, so that's from Wind Falls to Burns Away.
Okay,
Okay.
Oh,
So practical advice, get out there early and secure your locations. Yes.
Okay, my suggestion, and it's worked for us we've been in the popcorn thing for like 6 years now. And as soon as they started with it, check your local packs and troops. Where are you selling? I'm gonna sell over here. Is that okay with you guys? Check with
Great idea.
them. I've already set up with 116 in Nampa where they're selling and where I'm selling, so we're not at the same time. And again, we came across one. We were right at the boundary of Caldwell and Nampa. They came in, the guy thought, well, like you did, yeah, we already talked about scouts, so they let them in. So we did the first half of the day and they did the second half of the day. We worked it out. Nobody got mad. We go, oh, we're here at the same time. The guy go, I thought you were all together. No, that's okay. We figured it out. So be nice and everybody will figure it out.
So, right, so that suggestion is, talk to your units that are nearby you, because most units set up in proximity to their, where they have their meetings, right, or where their organization is located. We're out in Eagle, so we've got 77 out, well, actually, we're right on the border of Meridian and Eagle, but we've got 77 nearby us. So anyways, so I recommend one or two stores that have high traffic on the weekends. Last year we did 3 stores, and I'm going to talk about that here. I'm going to show you some data from what I collected last year. I'm very data oriented, so I'm very, you were asking that question earlier. I track everything, every single day. So if you're brave or you've got parent volunteers, 3 locations is manageable. what I do is 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And I do that because you don't want to, I didn't want to burn out my scouts, and it seems like it's the same scouts that volunteer over and over again. We've got about 30 in our pack, and for us, that worked out. I mean, that's an individual, you could do what you want. I think when I was talking to 77 last year, I think they were there all day long. But you're gonna see by the numbers that I'm gonna show you, because I tracked everything last year, you're gonna see that it works out pretty well. And Donna said that us and the Mountain Home, you know, we were neck and neck for top sellers. And so you can see that, you know, what we do here works very well. Also 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. is high traffic at the stores that we sell at. And I think that goes for just about anywhere, right? Okay, so moving on, they already talked about the credit card payment service, and I think it was yesterday or the day before, Donna and I were on the telephone, and I actually tried out this new online, so I purchased one item using the Camp Masters, and I don't want to steer anybody away from the Camp Masters. I think it might turn out to be a really good way of taking payments. We use the Square device and app, so that plugs into your phone or an iPad. I have a few extra devices laying around, so I just take them to the couple locations. I have the app loaded on there. The device itself, I think the one that plugs into an iPhone is like $9. I think when you sign up for the Square account, they'll actually send you one for free. So if you're wondering how that works, if you have never used Square before, it's it's a good system. But you want to get it connected to your unit bank account right away. That's something that I learned the first year. I struggled with that very close to our first sale, our first weekend, because it has to go through a little bit of a setup process. So you want to make sure you get that set up right away. And then what's great about the Square, and obviously the Camp Master had the same thing, and to your question you were asking the Camp Masters earlier, is you can track your sales on Square. And so on the Square app, you can set up every single item. So I've typed into my app the letter code and then the description of the popcorn. So KK is, you know, cinnamon crunch. MM is movie theater. And then on the app, you can toggle between the top, and you can pick from your library or favorites. And so I'm just going to kind of show you real quick what it looks like. You can see, and sorry for the camera, but you can see the different, and you just hit 1, 2, 3, just hit it. And it populates the order and totals everything out because you pre-populated the cost, and it works phenomenal. And so at the end of the day, I get a report emailed to me telling me exactly what the total revenue was. We've also added a donation. So our very first sale ever was a $50 donation. Wasn't even a sale. I mean, it was the very first transaction. The guy walked up, says, "I don't want popcorn." He hands us $50, right? So I'm thinking, oh, great. Now how am I going to track this? So, so you can do that in the Square app, and Square is also set up where you can add cash sales. So at the end of the day, you get, if your people who are running your location are thorough and well trained, then you get a report at the end of the day that tells you exactly what product you sold, you know, what you got in cash donations, what you got in cash sales, and Square works very, very well. So I'm not trying to push Square. That's what we've used, and we're going to use it again this year, but I'm going to watch how this Camp Masters works out. Okay.
Good question.
Oh, yes.
Did you not run into any fees with Square?
There is a fee. Yeah, there's a small fee, but we were willing to pay that because, I mean, we did a lot of volume, so it worked out.
Well, and
I think it's 2%.
Yeah, it's
yeah, and for us, the amount of donations that we got last year easily covered
yes.
any fee that we had.
Yeah, the donation, you're absolutely right.
There
Donations
was a
are,
lot of donations. I would agree with you. I was very surprised that many people just walked up. I don't need popcorn, but here's the donation.
right. So, good point. And then, of course, the ordering of the popcorn. So, you know, that first year, I called Pat and I said, "Pat, I have no idea what I'm doing." And he basically populated my order for me. And interestingly enough, it worked out absolutely perfect. We literally sold almost to the, you know, I mean, I think I ended up buying a few things at the very end, but it worked out great. So I got on there, we purchased about $9,000. on the first year, and then the second year, we purchased 15,000, or we ordered it in advance for our storefront sales, okay? And as I wrote, I filled nearly all the product each year. In the first, just to give you a frame of reference, the first year we had 2 locations for 3 weekends, and then the second year we had 3 locations for 4 weekends, although one of those weekends we had to share with the other unit, so a little bit of info on that. So moving on to line item 4 here. So prepare to pick up your popcorn, right? I didn't know what to expect. So you're gonna want, if you order a lot, like the 9,000 or the 15,000, that's quite a bit. And so don't think that you're gonna run down and take 15 minutes and you're all done, because it doesn't happen that way. There might be a line of trailers or people in front of you, which happened to me last year. So make sure you bring a trailer, a large truck, and have a place to store your popcorn. I think that's a really important thing. What was that? Brad's house. Brad's house, yeah. So have a place to store that popcorn. That was something that I didn't think about. And as I was preparing this, I thought, you know what, I better put this in here just to make sure that people are thinking about this.
Was a trailer 5,000? How much fits in?
So I have
What's the
a,
size of your trailer?
my trailer is, it was a 12 or 14-foot trailer, and it fills it pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah, it filled, I mean, it covered pretty much the entire floor. You know, only 3 or 4 boxes high, because I don't want them tipping over as I'm driving down the road, but it covered the entire floor space.
Okay.
It was like a full pallet.
And it also depends on what you're buying too, because you can do 9,000
Micro.
$10 bags or stuff.
Yeah.
So last year we had a trailer, the pickup, and I filled the back of the pickup, inside the pickup in my car.
Yeah, so like, be prepared for,
That feels good.
yeah, exactly.
Jeremy?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Curiosity, last year, I don't think we ran into you guys, but where do you guys sell?
We are Albertsons and Eagle.
Okay, good to know.
We did that, and then Fred Meyer, the Eagle Island,
Yeah.
Fred Meyer,
Okay.
and the 10-mile Walmart. Yes,
I'll make sure that we don't, because I was actually thinking about going over that area, because I live in Eagle,
okay,
but we go over by McMillan. We
okay.
usually go to Lowe's and get that.
Yeah, I've heard Lowe's is really good.
Lowe's ends up being, it's interesting.
Okay. So,
Yeah, there's a group, another pack in Eagle that would be selling probably in the Eagle area.
Okay, yeah, he does the Eagle area, so I would.
That's why there's a
I thought
conflict.
I thought about expanding
Yeah.
besides the Lowe's on Eagle,
Yeah,
but I didn't want to.
right.
thank you.
Is there
Yes.
is there a way that we could do like a shared Google Doc or something where people can just put where they're selling? So when we're reaching out, we're not causing extra confusion?
Sure, yeah, I'll
That's a
get
great idea.
something, yes, I'll get something set up on our district website.
Awesome.
Thank
And these
you.
are examples for those online, these are just examples of box sizes. So, just talking about, having the trailer and the trucks or, lots of space to put this stuff in. And you're gonna be hanging on to it for, several weeks, so you just have to have a spot to keep it. So,
And how much product fits in those boxes?
this one is 6 boxes of the the movie theater. And this one is 8 of the kettle corn.
And that same box there is what, your $10 caramel corn will come in, and there's 12 to that.
Yes. So moving on to item number 5 here, how to get organized for your storefront sales. So assign a parent to each location for each weekend. So we've got our popcorn kernels. So I started calling my parents the popcorn captains, right? I was in the military, so I kind of like to follow that whole chain of command. And so my parents were my popcorn captains. So if possible, drop off popcorn to each captain, before. So if you've got 2 different locations, then you want to drop off enough popcorn to them that's going to accommodate that weekend. And again, we'll get to a spreadsheet that I've got. You can see the volume that we did at our locations to give an idea of how much to leave. You don't want to leave everything because now they've got to deal with that. So you want to keep that in mind. You want one person. So this popcorn captain delivering. Well, I'm sorry. So I wrote one person delivering to 2 locations on the day of sales is very difficult. So if we started at 10 a.m., I was at one location starting at 9 a.m., which meant I had to have a parent there at 9 a.m. so I could leave the popcorn table. We have nice table skirts that we've put together for our pack for our units. And basically leave all the supplies. So if you've got a popcorn captain responsible, then they can show up, say 15, 20 minutes before versus me running all over the place. That first year I was back and forth nonstop with my trailer. And that's when I came up with the popcorn captain idea. I said, okay, I need help. Have a plan for the end of the day for popcorn. End of the day and popcorn delivery for next day. Again, just a little bit of, some people don't think of that. Just a little practical advice, just make sure you've got a plan. Who's going to be, or do you have to go pick it up? Is that popcorn captain gonna be there? Is it gonna be the parent who's volunteered to be there for that shift, the end of the day shift, whatever that might be. Table, folding table, half box, cash, right? Just some simple common sense things. You're gonna have your square or the way that you're gonna take credit cards. If you're gonna take credit cards, I think some units don't take credit cards. Honestly, I think that credit cards is the way to go. I mean, everybody carries a credit card. And then we put together little signs. I bought these little table stands and we just put them in front. We put a few, product out just to set it out. And we put the name of the product with the price right there so people can see how much, right? What ends up happening if you only have a couple of scouts doing the sales, we want them out getting people to come to the table, right? Because they, nice and cute and they got their uniform on and the grandmas and grandpas are like, oh, how cute, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go buy something from these kids. But then if they get tied up trying to tell them how much things cost, well, all these people are walking by and you're losing potential sales. So you want to have that information visible for your customers so they can see that right there. And the scouts, the cubs are going out and continuing to grab more people and bring them in. Okay, daily popcorn sales, keep track of inventory. You had that question earlier when the Camp Masters was on. I can't emphasize this enough. This is critical to understanding where you are in the grand scheme of things, not only in your storefront, but also, what do you have if people are doing the take orders, right? And then near the end, the council's calling you, you're getting that phone call, how much do you have left over? It's nice to know. Plus for me, I'm a metric kind of guy. I like to know, what I'm doing and where and how much we're selling where. And we're going to show this spreadsheet here in a minute. So I've got something to help you keep track of your inventory. And then of course we plan for the leftovers. If you could scroll up a little bit more on our screen here so we can see the very bottom. Plan for the leftovers. I think they've kind of covered this already. I decided just to add this in just for a talking point. You can use your leftovers for your take orders. What we did both years after our storefronts were done, we had, so we are at Holy Apostles and we have St. Ignatius School combined there. And so what we did is we set up tables after school. And as people were leaving the school, they would walk out, the parents were picking up the kids. And so we were selling whatever we had at the end and we're able to sell off the rest of our inventory at the end. And you'll see this on my spreadsheet. So that worked out great. So just my point is just kind of think outside of the box. When your storefront's done, and even after you've paid the council what you owe them, you can keep selling. Nobody says you can't keep selling this stuff. Your charter organization, if they've got some kind of event, depending what type of organization they are, go up, put this stuff out on the table, make sure they're good with that, right? But keep selling this stuff. Yes, question.
Sorry, question, because I probably got in late. You guys probably already answered this, but so we're selling the product with storefronts until October 28th, and then it says take order unit orders due on the 25th of October.
No, we do it all at the same time.
And you can do it all at the same time.
You can start taking orders right away. Yeah.
Okay, so that's actually.
So the October 18th, that's a great question because the first year that confused me as well, which is why I'm emphasizing you can keep selling. The 18th deadline is when your payment to the council. So if you buy $9,000 worth of popcorn, they send you a bill or your bill is on the Camp Master, you know what you owe them. So that's when that's due. we kept selling. We keep selling until it's all done, or at the end I end up buying whatever.
And
left, 'cause I
also
love popcorn.
curious, last year they told us, don't order the chocolate until later on
They
because
won't
it
ship it.
smells. They won't ship it.
They will not allow you to order it for your show and sell
Mhm.
because they don't ship it until it's too
Like
late.
November.
Well,
Yeah.
it's after that, but you can order with the take order and it will arrive in the middle of November.
But technically it wouldn't be on the tables unless you decide to sell after.
Yeah,
Your
but
take
it
order.
won't be on the tables ever.
It's because it'll melt.
Yes.
Okay, but like if you, like you said, keep selling past the date and do the take order of the chocolate, you could technically. have it on
Technically, you
the
could.
table
Yeah,
with,
if,
like, later
if you yourself wanted to buy a large quantity
Of the chocolate.
of the chocolate, then yes, you could. But
But
you
it would
yourself
have to
would
be like
have
a
to,
personal order, and then shipping would be involved, is that correct?
yeah. It'd be
Well,
like, it'd be
if you
like
put it
ordering
as
and
part of
doing
your
an
take
online
order
order.
due, and then it would be distributed on the 18th of November.
So when I do take orders, there's no shipping at cost for the people who are buying.
That is correct.
That is correct.
Yes.
They're paying the exact same price that you would be paying at the storefront.
Well, but if they do it online, they're shipping.
The online order, yeah, they're more expensive.
Because they go straight to your house.
Correct, and that's shipped directly to your residence or wherever you have it. Okay, yes. So, and then at the end, we've already covered it. You can return to the council. They usually, will call, for those of you who are new, you'll communicate with at the council or with the council. They'll want to know what you've got left because before they place that final order, they may want that back from you so they can distribute to others. And if you're wondering, yes, you do get credit back, so you don't pay for whatever you're giving back to the council. Okay,
It doesn't have to be full unopened cases.
I've given individual boxes, individual bags.
So that
It was unopened cases. I don't know what the current position is.
So they must have been giving you a favor because it's supposed to be unopened cases.
Yeah, it needs to be unopened.
Unopened boxes, okay.
Yes,
and
and
then-
That's what happens, people will mix.
Yeah, because we had that happen. We need more for the storefront. Our people come back and we got what we thought, and then we opened up with 3 of this, 4 of that. So we had some, not
so-
honest.
What will happen is, on the unopened cases from the show and sell, if they don't sell and they're feeling okay, we'll take them back as unopened cases, then we put those in a repository ready for the take order. And so then that way we don't overload and have a whole bunch of inventory after the take order sale is completed. But after the take order, we typically don't use much take back. Like Jeremy said, he just goes and sells the rest of it. And so anyway, just
And just to finish up on that point, when you do put in your request for take order or for show and sell, don't say, I want a tractor trailer worth because I can return it. No, be realistic when you think about how much am I going to be able to sell at a storefront? How much am I going to be able to sell door to door? And then with your captains or your colonels, again, monitor your boxes. If it's getting kind of tight and you're not sure you're gonna be able to sell, you need one bag out of a box. Instead of opening a whole box for one bag, maybe check with another unit. But you can buy a bag from them and then you can return an unopened box.
Okay, can you,
Excuse me.
yes,
Sorry, just a quick question, going back to the dates of like when things are due. I assume, and it's probably common knowledge, but as far as the kids' prizes go, the cutoff for their sales numbers is the cutoff date of when those orders are due, correct?
I would say yes to that. Because if
Okay.
anything is sold beyond that, it's too late to order anything. So I think that would really be, I mean, for me, that would be my cutoff date. That has been my cutoff date, but if you want to cut it off sooner, that's up to you.
Yeah, I was just, if you're selling at more activities like with your charter or something after that, it probably needs to be made clear to the parents, hey, guess what? That doesn't count towards your prizes or your amount
Yes.
back, so.
Yeah, and I use Scout Book. I use the messaging system on Scout Book a lot, and through popcorn season, my parents are getting two emails from me a week describing everything that's going on, so it's crystal clear. Because you're right, you don't want that kid to have their feelings hurt or be sad or whatever because they think that they earned something and they didn't. So I'm constantly reminding my parents, at the PAC meeting, this is how we're doing it. If your numbers aren't in by this date, that's it. You're not gonna get credit for it. And the kids are sitting right there at the PAC meeting, so they hear it. So, I haven't had any problems with anybody's feelings getting hurt or any expectations not being met the last 2 years. But again, I communicate constantly with them. I would say that would be key. And if I didn't say this earlier, as you're getting near the end, as we're getting down the road, communicate with the council on how much popcorn you have. Because they are very helpful in finding places to put it. They are getting the phone calls from the other units saying, hey, we're running low, do you have any more? And if you're not telling them that you have extra, then they don't know, right? How many units did you say you have? 80, 90? So they're not calling every unit to say, hey, how much popcorn do you have? Maybe we might get an email, but so communicate. I think that's a critical part of this entire process.
Well, and part of that too is that you may be surprised for some 2 years ago, when we did, storefront, we ordered and stuff like that, we sold out everything the first weekend.
Wow.
And fortunately, we got a hold of Mountain Home, and we drove down to Mountain Home because they had some extra stuff and that, so we sold that out the second weekend.
Wow. Where do you sell? Where is this? Top secret?
Well, no, it's not Ontario, Oregon, but I'm just saying there's no competition for it there. But it surprises us that with and stuff like that. So we ordered more next year for the last year and stuff. And so we sold the most we ever sold per day.
Okay.
And then again, but we had ordered enough, so we covered it, but we didn't have to do as many storefronts, but we sold that.
Gotcha.
So I'm just saying that's the other thing too, is that, they did help.
Can you pull up, I actually, not that one, my picking ticket. I decided to show this mainly for new people. I don't know how many new people are in this room or how many new people are online, but I just decided to show this just to give you an idea. And what I'm gonna suggest is if you want to look at this, if you're brand new, if you haven't ordered before, reach out to Donna. And I'm okay if she sends this to you, even though it has my home address number on there. That's fine. But this is what we ordered. What year is this? Was it 2022? 2022. So this is last year. This is what we ordered. Oh, this is a $15,000 order. This is what we ordered. This is the volume. I will say this, I had too much, I had a lot of the popcorn bags left over. So the caramel popcorn bags.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that we had a lot of that left over, but everything else sold very, very quickly. I was shocked that the tins sold out very fast. So this year I'm gonna be ordering more tins. Yeah, they're very popular.
When you guys pick your stores to sell at, do not discount Cabela's, Big Five, the sporting stores, and think about the weekend or weekends of hunting season. And that's what occurred for us. We had hunters come up and say, I want your biggest tin of popcorn. I'm going hunting. I love the Scouts. And they without thinking about it, was not even a consideration. They want Scouts. I love it. Popcorn, you got it. What do we need? $60. Give me that cheese tin. Give me what, and it will. It's the people who know Scouts and know the product. They're going to support us.
Jeremy, one quick thought. No, I will always say that if you have extra product, give it to your charter partner as a thank you, or the schools. Do the same thing. If you have extra product from last year, you should be giving it to Albertsons or Cabela's, thank you for letting us be here, sell popcorn. If you have extra, I think that would be a nice gesture.
Okay, yeah, give it to the managers and.
Yeah.
Yes, question.
Not to go back on the Girl Scouts even goes farms and they have extra cookies. By their certain sell date, they'll donate to the food banks.
Donate to, yeah. First year, we gave a lot to the Eagle Food Bank. We had a lot of leftovers, so yeah, great ideas. So can you go to the spreadsheet? Actually, just so everybody knows, go to the spreadsheet, but I have the last 2 years of my picking tickets that Donna can make available to you if you want them. So I've got the $9,000 order and this $15,000 order. So this is a spreadsheet that I developed. And again, if you would like to use this, Donna can send this to you. This is refined from my first year. And so basically what I've got, you'll see October 1, 2, October 8, 9, October 15, 16, if you can scroll down. October 20, 21, and at the very bottom, that November 10th, that's the day that we sold the rest of our product in front of our elementary school, our school at our church. So so if you go back to the top, I just want to quickly walk through this. This is so you see starting boxes, that first yellow column there. So that's what I started with, the quantity in each box, right, which is printed right on the side of the box. So I have 120 of the extra butter roasted summer corn as my starting. So at the end of that weekend, I had 11 boxes left over with 3 individual units, what I call units, right? So just the small boxes, right? So I had a total of 91. So I started that weekend with 120 and I had remaining 91. So I sold 29 of the extra butter roasted summer corn. And you can see, you go through each one of these and you can see how many I sold on that first weekend. 29 of the extra butter roasted summer corn, 56 of the butter microwave, and so on and so on. And then I've got the pricing. So I'm tracking what I sold that first weekend. Again, we sold $4,000 over 4 total hours. So I'm sorry, 8 total hours at 3 locations. So you can do the math and you can figure out, what we sold there at each location in your bang for your buck, so to speak, right? And then you can see on October 8th and 9th, I just continue on and we sold $4,255 on that. Now that doesn't include donations. So our total take home was more than that. This is just tracking product. So the way that I do it is at the end of that weekend, last year I had my popcorn captains send me the count of what they had. I knew what I dropped off to them and what they had left, and I just added that in, and this is how I tracked it. So if you could scroll down a little bit more, so I just continue on and you can just see October 15, 16, we sold $4,600 on that weekend, the 2021st. I don't remember what happened that weekend, but we only sold $1,000. I think.
Is that the camp weekend? Not the half day, half one?
No, I think this might have been, a
Sell out? Is that what it is? Remaining boxes 0?
trying to remember what happened there, but nevertheless, no, the boxes were 0, but we had units left. So I had, after that, I think actually this was a special event, so maybe I only did 3 storefront weekends, and then I did 2 special sales at the church. So I think that's what happened. So so you'll see on October 21st, I had 6 boxes of the extra butter, but you'll see I have 115 of the popcorn bag, and that's what I was mentioning earlier, is I just had a lot of popcorn bags left over. For some reason, they weren't as popular last year for us as they were, the previous year. But that last event on November 10th, we sold out of everything. And I think that might have been partly some of our parents buying, bulk stuff. You end up, people stepping up to the plate.
Shopping for Christmas.
Exactly. Kind of helping getting the
Wait till the end and see what's left.
And it might have been me also buying a bunch of that, because I had a bunch of that last year. So anyways, these are my personal notes. The popcorn does not, so okay, you can ignore it. That's those are notes to myself. But yeah, so this is a great way of tracking. So if you want to use it, you're more than welcome to.
This is a Google spreadsheet?
This is an Excel spreadsheet.
Excel. Can you make available a blank spreadsheet, which would be probably easier for folks to fill in?
Thank you for saying
and a copy of what you filled out as a hard copy that you don't, maybe
Yes.
a doc, a doc, but then make the spreadsheet available that functions.
That's exactly what I'm gonna do. What Donna will send you will have all the numbers zeroed out. And I've got all the equations all set up, it all self-calculates out, and but what Donna would send you is with zeros, And if, yeah, I can,
So
we can
two
do a
documents,
PDF,
one would be a PDF of this, so they can see how you worked it out.
sure,
And then the other document would be the Excel spreadsheet that functions.
yes,
That they could fill in on their own.
exactly what. So anyways, I didn't know if people would like this or not. It sounds like just from what I'm seeing right here in this room that people are like, oh, this looks pretty good. Like I said, I like to keep track of everything, very detailed. Any questions for me? Practical advice? Oh, one thing I didn't talk about is, I think that the door-to-door stuff, that's self-explanatory. The online sales, that's really gonna be a function of what Camp Masters has provided. I did try out that QR code yesterday, as I mentioned. That worked great. I think what Dawn and I were kind of spitballing some ideas, and I was even thinking about at the storefront, well, I don't know, maybe that's not a great idea, but I would have each scout have their QR code printed out. And if you go door to door with that, or pin it up at your office on the bulletin board, or there's a million different ways of distributing those QR codes. Each scout has their own individual QR code, and then we noticed online that the unit has a QR code. So it looks like sales that the unit, you can purchase just through the unit, but how you're going to distribute that to the individual scouts will be up to you. Yes.
In the frantic moments of parents going, give me a case of this and give me a case of that, and do you do spreadsheet magic on keeping track at the member level, the youth member, on how they do their sales? Or I'm nervous about shorting a kid on
I do.
their
I keep
sales and how much
Excel spreadsheet,
how much time and
Yeah.
effort to put into that.
what they
Yeah.
did at each booth, what they did at take home, what they did online.
So the take home and online is tracked through Camp Master.
Yeah, it's just the storefront that makes me
So
really nervous.
storefront, what I do is we take the roster of all our youth that worked, and we have some that worked, and Peter was second highest selling person in the entire district council. And because he worked every single weekend, he just kept working. And so what I do is I take the total amount sold at the storefront, and then I divide it by the number of spots, right? So basically, I want to say not number of scouts, but number of shifts that are worked, right? And so for us, it came out to, I don't know, like $250 per shift. And then if Peter worked 8 shifts, I would take 8 times $250 and assign that to him. So I prorated the total amount per shift and then multiplied how many shifts each scout worked
So you
by that number.
combined all the storefront
All the stores.
and then did that, not each weekend
Right,
over.
correct, for the entire, right, because I don't want to penalize a kid because one weekend is higher volume than
Right.
the other, right? Number one, number two, some kids are more outgoing than others, some are shy, but I want to reward them for showing up. And so we just prorated across, like I said, by number of
All the
shifts.
store sales into one number.
Correct, so there was, $10,000 sold, and there were, 100 shifts, right? I just divide that, and then, again, Peter worked 10 shifts. Michael worked 1 shift, Michael gets $250, Peter gets $2,500.
Okay, that's more manageable.
Any more questions? Online, Zoom? Thank you. We got what?
It's not a question. I wanted to, I guess, make sure it was clear, because I made the mistake last year. When your scouts enter take orders, that does not automatically put it into an order that will show up at the distribution center. You as the colonel have to take those and make a unit order. So to your point about the chocolate, technically, if you wanted to add that to your order, that's fine. Then the money would be due on December 14th. But you have to go into Camp Masters, and I don't know if it's automatic or you have to summarize all the take orders and make a unit order. Otherwise, nothing will show up at the freight center on the 18th.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way too.
I did too.
Yeah, and I was like, Pat, where's my order? He said, what order?
Exactly.
And I was like, uh-oh. So, I Camp Master's website, I'm not as well versed other than tracking certain things, but I made the same mistake last year. It's the storefront and this type of stuff that, you know, I learned a lot of lessons and that's, you know, hopefully I'm helping everybody else.
This gets handed out to every kid, and they do a bunch of like these and haven't fulfilled it. Then it's our job to get all of them from the camp and then have that in by the 25th of October.
There's a little piece in there though, that I'm gonna give you a suggestion. They fill out what she's showing is the order form, okay? Have the parent take this and input this into Camp Master. If you choose to do that, you're gonna be spending a lot of time inputting orders.
Have the parent monitor this information. This is great going door to door, and the scouts, they may take an order but the scout may put it in the wrong spot. Or forget to fill something out, so really have mom or dad or aunt or uncle or big sister, brother, when you're going door to door, and it works great, just be very careful. Just after everybody takes an order at that doorstep, make sure this is filled out correctly.
An adult should be entering this into Camp Masters and preferably not your popcorn colonel, popcorn captain, you know, hub master, you know, whatever. Preferably the parent, because this becomes very time consuming for one person to take 30 of these and enter them all in.
So then if they're all entered, then I'll have access to it?
Then
or-
it also, right, so then you can see, it'll show you the take order on Camp Master, it'll summarize by scout. And then, like this gentleman here said, I'm sorry, I don't know your name, but, sorry? Brad, like Brad said, then the popcorn captain colonel for the unit is then summarizing that and putting that into an order that then the council is sending to Camp Masters. Am I correct in that? Okay, very good.
I can't thank Jeremy enough for his time. You know, someone once said experience isn't the best teacher, other people's experience is the best teacher. Trial and error is not only painstaking, but it's time consuming. And so what's great about this group and what's great about those who are online is know that if you're fairly new at this and you want to learn more, Jeremy's always going to be available. Cassie, Dan, and Mike, and all of you great individuals who have been out there. So as we wrap things up, so grateful for you attending today. We're going to wrap things up. We have some samples here, by the way, for those who are present, and we need to get a few samples to those who are online. But just keep in mind that this is so much more than selling popcorn. This activity, this event, this venue for the year is so much more than making money for the unit and helping the kids succeed with a few prizes. When you think about what scouting is, and it's a laboratory to instill in them values found in the Scout Oath and Scout Law. I think about my own kids. I have 3 sons, 3 Eagle Scout sons, and they were exposed to a little bit of popcorn in their life. And my eldest son is a very successful IT guy in Arkansas. My 2 middle sons, or my middle son and my youngest son, they spend their summers doing sales. They sell pesticide in California, Modesto, Sacramento, and what have you, and they're just wrapping that summer up. They spent about 4 very tough months going door to door and making the sales. My middle son, he's 23 years old, and because of that grit and determination and the team that he recruited, he's just this close of paying cash for his first home. He's going to be making close to $250,000 in 5 months of his effort. That he's got an incredible team that he's recruited. So, and then my youngest son, this is his first year of sales. And if we can still in these kids the ability to look at an adult in the eye and be able to just tell them about a great product and to make the sale, wouldn't you like a snack this weekend? We got the perfect solution. You know, just they practice in speaking to an adult, speaking to others, and doing something that's worthwhile and great and wholesome. Many, many miracles occur. This first son, my last son that went out for his first year, he made about $10,000. And he sold from about 10 a.m. till 8 p.m., 5 days a week. But it was some experience that he had. And also with all the skills that he learned with the other methods and means of scouting. Someone once said, if you sow a thought, you reap an act. If you sow an act, you reap a habit. And if you sow a habit, you reap a character. And if you sow a character, you reap a destination. The skills that these kids are learning, this is so much more than selling popcorn. This is the kids who are going to be the leaders of tomorrow. People who can talk to others and make sure that they represent themselves and represent good things. It's going to take them so many places. And so that grit, motivation, drive, determination, those are the things that we're instilling today. And great miracles will occur tomorrow. And so thank you so much. But please,
If I can add just a couple other points.
please.
When the scouts are selling, they should be in their field uniform so that they are identified as scouts, not just somebody in a t-shirt. So they should be in their field uniforms. We talked about the weekends. It's a great time, especially the hunters that want to get out there. We talked about sharing storefront sales among the scouts who are attending, which is real good. And one of the things that I did, I started selling popcorn with my older son's unit back in Washington State. And then when we moved over here with my younger son, we actually, as a family, bought a couple different products and we would offer samples. Well, I don't know, popcorn, I'm not a big pot. You should try this. I mean, chocolate popcorn to me initially sounded awful until I tried it. And it is so good. So if you have like a Tupperware, if you want to purchase one and offer a sample, that also helps to make the sale. Those are just a couple of points that I wanted to add. Be sure they're in uniform when they're out there selling.
You guys are great. Let's dismiss, but any final word there, Donna? Okay.
I do have two things.
Please, Mike.
For our unit to add percent, so every kid that gets 1/3 of the profit in his account.
In their
scout account. Two, we have it for every $50 of popcorn they sell, they have a coupon that goes into our drawing. And so they have extra prizes that we furnish. And add to that. So after the date that the prize is turned in for Camp Master, the kids still sell the stuff, and so at the end of it, so those coupons, so he gets additional, his or her get additional things in there. So those are two things that, and it makes a big difference because 70% of our pack cannot afford scouting. And so by doing that, that's how we get it in there. So no kid is denied to be in scouting because of money. And so once they join, they never pay again. And stuff like that. And so we've had one that's from 6 years old on, and now Boy Scouts have never paid a registration fee since, because they sell popcorn.
The motivation for the younger scouts, 2 prizes. That's a good way to start your popcorn presentation. Show the scouts the prizes that they can earn. That generates interest. Again, back to when we first moved over here, the pack we joined, they weren't doing popcorn in the fall. I said, you guys don't sell popcorn? How do you pay for so? We just nickel and dime mom and dad. So mom and dad don't want to be nickel and dime. So I came down here and I asked council, do you have any leftover? And I gathered up what we had. I went to the pack. We made our presentation. And I'd say maybe 1/3 of the scouts tried selling. At the end of the year, the committee said, we have never had a treasury this healthy. And at the end of popcorn sales, the 1/3 of the scouts who sold are getting prizes. And all of a sudden, hands are going up. I want to sell, I want to sell, I want to sell. There was the interest there among the scouts. And with the prizes, I believe you can still mix and match. For example, if a scout has earned $5,000, but he doesn't want the prizes that are at that level, he could come down here and say, well, I'll take 1 from column A and 2 from column B. And so they can mix and match. So you want to make that point to the scouts as well. The scouts are going to love this sheet, looking at the prizes. And how do I get to what I want? And that's initially that's their motivation. Of course, the rest of us as leaders, we know what like Lynn was explaining, the real motivation behind it all.
And for those of you that haven't done this before, you may be shocked when you go enter the prize as the unit leader. You basically have to do that math on the scout level and count up the number of items. It's just a large list of items, and you put the quantity of each item that you want. It doesn't automatically do it or doesn't do any math for you. you have to figure out how much that scout sold. What the scout wanted based on the accumulation of sales, and then you basically put in a quantity of the number of items.
And what I do on turn-in night, I collect everything, we note what it is. And then one at a time, I call the scout and their parent over and say, okay, based on your storefront and your take order, this is what you are entitled to go to, or the total thereof. They're shocked because they don't realize how much their storefront has bolstered their prize level. And so they get very excited, and then we do a pizza party with these other friends, and they get to choose, you know, from a display of things that he picks up. The things go on sale at Rite Aid and that sort of.
Yeah, when you can get it at 75% off.
So Diana, give us the last thought.
Well, what we do at our pack is we do our kickoff, when we do our parent night, the first meeting before our regular den meetings, and we do our popcorn kernel comes up there, and we have 3 stacks of prizes. Top seller, second seller, third seller. They already know when we're handing the flyers, what they're gonna get if they're the top seller in the pack. Then we show them what the prizes are there, and then for every item that they sell, they get a ticket in for a bicycle.
Whoa.
Nice.
We want them to get out there, everybody goes, I need a bicycle. I want these prizes. I want that one. We've had 4 or 5 of them. Who's got an empty slot on a weekend? We want one, you know, things like this. So we'll sell to people in California and Dakota. We need to get placed out. So that gives them an incentive to get out there and do it on their own, plus with the storefronts with us.
This works well with Boy Scouts, but Cub Scouts.
Yeah.
Yeah, we scouts, well, I want something else, but when we went to Weeblo Camp this year, one of our scouts turned the tent, popcorn, he slept in his own tent.
Yeah.
He said, I want to take my tent and I'm sleeping in my tent.
Nice.
So we were proud of him for that.
Okay, you guys are great. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for those on cyber.
Bye, everybody.
Another week, spreadsheet, email or something.
Yeah, I dropped it. Just 2 days ago. Wait, my daughter-in-law get home from her. And Abby, they said, system, so she got it. I'm like, you just tell our insurance. I know we have it. We'll probably have to.
And then the location.
They can just fix the screen.
Set up where.
Yes. Everybody's counting.